Every year, an area of forest the size of Belgium is lost to illegal or unsustainable logging. Carbon is released that contributes to global warming. The world's poorest people lose valuable assets, and the planet is deprived of biodiversity. Consumers can do something. They can use their buying decisions to promote sustainable forest practices. By supporting certified community eco timber products, they can say no to illegal and unsustainable logging and ensure communities that depend on the forests benefit from what is harvested. The Community village in the Solomon Islands has said no to unsustainable industrial loggers. The village has decided to manage its forest areas for the benefit of village people, for their children and future generations. Now it is working toward FSC certification as proof that it is managing its forest in a responsible way.
We were very happy when eco-forestry came to our village. We have witnessed the destructive impact of loggers on other villages where every tree has been taken and nothing left for the community. We take only some of the trees and we can now get a higher price for this timber. The project is the main source of income for our community.
The people who own the forest in Melanesia, it's local people, landowners here, Indigenous people, they still wanted an income from the forest. This is their resource, they need some money. So we worked with their need and with partners to develop, this as an option where the forest can be protected, but also an income can be generated from the forest.
Villages across the Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea and Indonesia are joining the community eco-forestry movement. They are encouraged by customers demanding products from responsibly managed forests and the benefits created for their own communities. Community-based eco-forestry is supported by the Dutch foundation ICCO, environment groups such as Greenpeace and local community forestry organisations. But the standards required to meet FSC certification and enter the FSC chain of custody are demanding. Before logging can commence, a management plan needs to be developed. The plan needs to minimise gaps in the forest canopy and maintain buffer zones around water flows. To comply with the FSC's chain of custody requirements, trees that are to be felled are marked and recorded. After processing, the timber is tallied and a clear chain of custody can identify individual timbers from the forest down the chain. Minimising disruption to the forest is a priority. In most cases, portable sawmills are used. This allows the timber to be carried to staging points, reducing the need for destructive roads to transport logs.
We also have in the management plan preservation areas for future generation to cut timbers from, and also from the managed plots that we build timbers from. We only go for the trees to have a right size, and we left the smaller trees to grow, and in the future then the younger people who come, they'll benefit from those trees again.
With more than 10 years' experience, the community eco-forestry model is working and growing. Now customers can play a part by supporting its continued growth.
The question that people should ask, or when they go into a store, was look for FSC, look for the FSC logo on products, or if they can't see it, then ask the salespeople in the store for FSC products.
The Forest Stewardship Council, or FSC, has been promoting environmentally appropriate, socially beneficial and economically viable management of the world's forests since 1993. It is the only certification program that has wide support from environment groups, industry, community and Indigenous peoples' organisations. Forest management standards set strict criteria for protection of biodiversity and other environmental values, compliance with legal obligations, respect for communities and Indigenous people.
It has, in one way or another, improved the standard of living, especially on good sanitation, good housing, and has improved education. There's quite a lot of benefits derived from such community-based forestry.
If you look at a forest like this, by doing this type of management, we maintain a lot of carbon here in this forest, and 15% of the world's carbon emissions come from deforestation at the moment. And so having forestry like this over areas means we're maintaining this carbon here for the future also.
Forests produce a great diversity of species. Responsible management means harvesting what the forest has to offer, not just the traditional species.
If they only want to get certain species, we might destroy most of our good species in the future. Yeah, and so we really we want to encourage them to try and get some different species too.
The market, I'm sure, can accept them because they'll find that the end use will be equally satisfied by some of these lesser known timbers as it will by the common timbers. It'll just provide wonderful opportunities for architects and designers and people who will live in their home environments to enjoy different patterns, different colours, and still get the same natural benefits of the warmth of timber that they've always had, but have something different.
For the past 10 years, Sydney-based company The Woodage has been the main channel for bringing community eco timbers to the Australian market.
Well, if you have a bit of a look around here, you'll see that there are timbers here that the market has been using for a long time. We are stockists of a lot of those timbers, but we've also been concentrating on using lesser known species. And to give you an example of 3 of those, we use molass, thorn and delinia. This flooring we're looking at here is molass. Its botanical name is Hamelium. It's a good hard-wearing timber. It's a nice fine grain. It's a timber that we've been bringing in from Papua New Guinea for a number of years now. In fact, it was one of the first timbers that we brought in. It lent itself to flooring very easily because, as I say, it's a hard-wearing timber. It has good colour. It takes a finish well, and it presents well. This timber here is thorn. Botanical name is Pometia. It's a timber that we've been bringing in for quite a number of years now. Its main use that we're putting it to here is for street furniture. It works particularly well for that. It's good for construction because it is a durability class 2 to 3 timber. It takes a stain extremely well and is in plentiful supply. The delinia is a good furniture timber. It's a timber that has a predominant medullary ray and it has good colour to it.
Know the timber qualities required to do your job well. When unfamiliar names are suggested, don't say no and request old favourites. Look for a responsibly harvested timber that meets your needs.
When buyers and customers hear about the story of where this timber comes from, people feel great. They can sit on their outdoor furniture or their deck or whatever and with comfort, knowing that this timber's come from a community that has received most of the benefit and is looking after the forest.
Whenever you make a wood purchase, it's important to remember to ask the wholesaler or retailer where the wood is from and whether it has an FSC label. Check out some websites to look for suppliers such as www.fsc-info.org. Supporting FSC certified community eco timber means everyone can contribute to protecting biodiversity, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving the lives of forest communities.